What it do? What it do? What it do? It is your boy Alfie D, and the place to be is Streets Talk Podcast. We got coming to special appearance tonight by my girl Kizzy. Engagement tonight. We're gonna engage a little bit in Baltimore. We're gonna basically we gonna come together today as one because right now our city and this young lady right now she's been a fight. She's in that city right now. She's engaging. She's putting one foot in front of the other. She's making the stand. My friend, the young lady right here, Kizzy Smith. Welcome, 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 welcome. How you doing today?
I'm fabulous. Hey, Alfie, thanks for having me on Streets Talk audience. Happy
No problem, no problem. Glad to have you here.
Yeah, so I think it's happens by accident. Everything is divine. I go out. We go back quite a few years, and so for decades. But so engaging on form where we can vibrate higher, bring it to a point where we and our talents and our audiences to do something to make our city greater, partying as ever,
Yeah, exactly. So I brought you here today because I was online and I seen a video that was well spoken and well written and well put together, and it caught my interest. So what is Engage Baltimore? Tell us a little bit about that today.
So Engage Baltimore is a very new and which seeks to disrupt the system that has mired us for disrupt the systemic inequities by preparing Baltimore processes, procedures, and politics needed to get in all aspects of civic governance. So what is that really? I want to use my knowledge, to make sure that both everyday Baltimoreans know what it takes is heard, to get the things that are important to them, agenda, to get the results that they feel their community. And, you do that by learning the rules of the game, right? So not every one of us is meant to run for office, civic service, but the decisions made by those who do that work affect every single one of 1,000 of us here in Baltimore and even in the surrounding areas, because together, there's absolutely nothing that that doesn't affect, or that especially our politicians and our civic service not directly affect what it is we're doing, how we move in the spaces in which we live and move in. And so the goal is to be able to reach out to community associations just because they are already strong, and then use that as an opportunity to come a space in which to basically train people to see what it is they need to do to reach their goal. So if your cause is regarding prison reform, has the power in that area, right? Who are those people that have prison reform? So we need to know who those people are. We need to know all the things, when those decisions get made. We need to know who's at the table but we also need to know who's at the table when the decision, because nobody comes to the vote wondering what the vote is going to be, a vote or not. So we want to be in those conversations that are happening before, to be at those tables. We want to be in those conversations without us being a part of those conversations.
Exactly. So if I'm a young up and coming person, I'm just tired of it. I'm just tired of, I feel as though my city, my government, my county, whatever is not doing enough for me. How do I get access to those rooms? How do I get started? How do I get engaged in Baltimore? I mean, what is like some of the steps on, how did you get started, or not exactly on the path, but maybe someone else might take that path and might want to use it on a different way, use it as the blueprint. So how did you get started?
Absolutely. So, I mean, let me keep it 100. I do not have all of the connections. I do not have all of the access. I have is access to people who have access. And so really, that's really what it comes down to, right? There's this saying that you're never a separation away from anybody. Well, in this city, I'm no more than two to anybody in the city. I can make a phone literally just about everybody, right? And I'm talking from the street. And so, being able to pull people together and find the way to do, right? So every cause has that's the first thing you have to do is you have to figure out what is the pathway goal, right? So if your goal is, I'll talk about when I started this process or Draft Engage Baltimore. So during all last year, we were stuck in the news because, hey, we stuck in the house. Might as well watch the news. And we saw the protests after George Floyd's murder and after Breonna Taylor's murder, us doing two things. We were in our protesting for people to do things that were not within the. So you can't ask someone who has absolutely no police force to fire the police chief. You can't do that. If we have to know the steps, we have to know who's in charge, like who gets to make those legally, who gets to make those decisions. But we also need to know what the politics, because if the person who has the decision-making power, is thrust into the midst of the political machine, we need to know where those. We need to be able to bring ourselves together to choose and those, right? So we have one thing about Baltimore doing this work for a long time, right? A long time, but they have not been able to wager their influence, or something. So the way that Engage Baltimore work, we'll kind of work at Baltimore brings together a whole bunch of different organizations, an opportunity for those intersectionalities. So we plan to work in that same type of atmosphere. Now we center in things that are already happening, right? So if your community is something as simple as street lights, right? Simple enough fix, but they've been fighting for it for 6 happens in this here city, right? So you take the power of that or those people together and speaking based on the active audience. And there's a saying, if you want to go far, go alone. If you want to go far, go together.
Yep, the African proverb.
And that, yes. And so that's what we want to do. We want to bring it to that culture. We've gotten so far away from our culture that, all the things in our culture speak to that togetherness, not a isolated people. We don't need to work in silo things. We want to disrupt the systemic oppression, and that's really what it comes down to. So there are a multitude of ways to the format that I chose because that's who I am. I'm an educator. Sorry, my earphone came out. I've been in education. That is where I live, right? And so that's where I plan to stay in education and disruption.
Exactly. And that's one thing is that we got away from, because we have neighborhoods now. We don't have communities. Like, you can live on a block now, you don't even know your neighbor, nobody engaged anymore. We don't have block parties, things like that. Even though we social distancing right about now, but you still can engage. You still can do things where as though you still get social distance, and it's a lot of things that you can do. You don't have to have money. You don't have to, be out in the streets fighting, rah, rah. It's other things that you can do. You can help, you can teach someone. Like you say, you're an educator. And that's one thing, reach one, teach one. And that's another thing that, it's different levels on being a community activist, things like that. So, elaborate a little bit more on exactly what you have going on right now. That the video, like I say, I seen online right now, and and tell us a little bit of exactly, what that's about and what prompted you to actually post that video.
So, give me 1 second. Excuse me. So there's an organization, and they offer micro grants for Black. And so they have a competition where it's a volume competition, right? So it's that determine who receives the micro grant. Of $1,000, the second prize of $500. So that you're speaking of, Alfie, is basically my pitch. It's a 3-minute. My organization does, what we seek to do, and how that relates to the principles of Kwanzaa, Nguzo Saba, which is how they energies through the Nguzo Saba. And, again, unity is very near and dear to me as responsibility, as is Kaumba, which is creativity, right? So pieces together. I believe in bringing those pieces together. Those are the pieces of me, and how I've always. So there is a link and vote for my organization. And Alfie, can you post that?
Yeah, I'm gonna post the link up on it as well. So let me get that link for you. So you go ahead and tell and just go ahead, just tell everybody exactly what you got going on, and also exactly on once you be nominated for this grant. And we have high hopes, and we already know that it's going to happen. We talking into light, things that you're going to do, and things like that you have coming up.
Absolutely. So, as I said, now I'm laying out the foundational pieces and building relationship space, producing materials. So the goal complete and what I call a toolkit, like a disruptor's toolkit for community associations, and then we'll develop processes that are, in community associations. So it'll show how to build a group of personal causes. And so I'm guess I call it winner. I'm a Reach Fellow with which is with Baltimore City Schools, and SHIP is just that. So that fellowship is about creating awareness, inequity, and how race impacts our lives, right? And so that as well, because a lot of times people only see what's. We got to dig deeper to see what the real cause is. We call the root cause. See what the root cause is of the issues, right? We want to create the materials and for us to be able to offer those resources at no cost to associations and other groups. So that's what the funding will be used for, and that's what the funding will be used for. But until that time, that's what we're building. So the process is it has to be built it will be shared. And so, again, as I said before, this work, so we will do this work in tandem. I'm not entering the will. I'm just interested in extending the bridge.
Exactly.
We want them to lead us on freedom. Not that kind of freedom, that real freedom, that freedom of, completely free from oppression, where oppression is not the thing we want. I'm a mother of a 5-year-old boy. As a mother of a 5-year-old boy in Baltimore City, I should really to think about what this world, what this is going to be like as he comes of age. He's going to be big, at least 6 feet or better.
Exactly.
They're the big black men. Mm. So, I have to do my part a little bit better. As Shirley Chisholm says, service on earth. I truly, truly believe that. My shirt served and socialized, I can't get my view right. But my shirt says I read this, which is a quote by I am a disruptor by nature. Creating equitable opportunities. A lot of times we talk about equality is the floor. That's not the ceiling, right? No. So past just wanting equality, I don't want the opportunity. I don't want to get bused to a school in a good neighborhood because they're my neighborhood to be just as good.
Yeah, we have to clean our own neighborhoods up, and that's how we're getting away from communities, because we, a lot of times, we target the crime. Let's go move out in the county, move out, to another state, but it's crime everywhere. It's crime everywhere that you go. So why not stick around and, like they say, stay with the devil that and stick around and try to do something in your neighbor. Pick up a piece of trash. Talk to your neighbors. If you see someone outside, it's all those little things like that. What brings into being a community. They used to have back in, my parents always talk about back in when they was coming up, they had I think it was on Saturdays, they had to scrub the stairs and things like that. That once you took pride into your neighborhood, you don't want anybody hanging around, throwing trash in there. But it starts small. It starts the little thing, and you got to start as while they're young. It's not saying we giving up on this generation as we giving up now, but we have to start them while they're young, and put it embed it into their brain until they get older, and then it's all on raising up as raising a person up as a right as a man, as a lady. It doesn't matter the race or anything, but it's more prominent to us because we don't have no like say positive role models that we can actually look up to besides sports and rap and things. They're all things like they're good things, but we need some activists. We need someone that's going to lead us here. And hopefully once everything's once this program is over and they pick everyone, you'll be one of the ones here in the city that's going to be up and coming risers that's going to help lead us into the promised land, like Dr. Martin Luther King said.
So, and that's the thing for your statement a little bit, Alfie, because I don't believe in waiting for this great. I believe that we're all leaders, right? Yes. We all take a little piece. You're leading right now. You're taking your access, using it for the good of us all. That's leadership, right? So we all, excuse me, one person don't have to do a whole lot if we all do a little bit. Exactly. Just say something about that too, but I don't really know how I go. But, that's what it is. Many hands make for light work. Many hands. It doesn't take. I'm not waiting on. I got time. I ain't got time to wait on the Martin Luther King to come about. Like I said, I'm an educator, so that's the space I know. That's where I know I can bring something of value. Now, I'm not changing the city all by itself. That doesn't happen. That is a little bit. That's going to contribute to your little bit. That's going to contribute to her little bit. We can all make this a better place. And I'm not, in negotiations and things like that, just because they already have people who are doing these things and they're organized already. But I grew up in Park Heights. I ain't scared to step out. And when I don't come to school if you want to. I'm coming to look for you.
And that's what we need.
I'm
we
pulling
need
you off. Get in this car, right? So I'm gonna take this to the streets too. And on the block, it'd be like, what do we need to do to get y'all to be up? We can't create a community. We can't create a whole new city without them. They ain't going nowhere. So we have to get them invested in. You get people invested by being able to see themselves in it. You get people invested, see some benefit for them, right? They don't see themselves as a part of. Yeah, they might rep Baltimore, rep the village, rep Park Heights, but they see themselves owning any part of this because they don't.
Exactly.
So we have to create opportunities for people to all of us.
Yep, I tell the young guys,
and we all got to put in.
You want to, all right, this is the life you want to choose. You being outside, we can't get through you no more, but all right, if you have him out here making money, buy these raggedy houses up in the neighborhood, fix those up, put your money back into the community, buy these stores. You want to stand in front of the store, buy the store that you stand in front of. We don't have no black owned businesses in our black owned communities. We can't go down to Little Italy, and well, right about now, probably so, because everybody's fleeing out of the city, going to the county. But really, and we can't go down there.
They still ain't letting us.
Exactly. We not going down there, not saying they're wrong or whatever. That's their community. They put a lot of money into that, so why can't we do that in our community? We have everybody else, we go in the corner store and we see someone that don't look like us. Hey, Ma, hey, Pop, or whatever. Why can't we put our real moms and pops inside those stores and get them to work and bring up the community so we can have our own little Mayberry? Why can't we have our own Mayberry? So, what's wrong with that? But every community that you go to, that you see, you go down Little Italy, you go down Broadway now. Broadway used to be, look at the area how it used to be. Now look at it now. You have a lot of Latinos down there. They have their own churches. They have their own stores. They have their own markets.
Yeah.
We don't have a black-owned market. The last black-owned market that I know of, there was, in my neighborhood was the Stop Shop and Save in Emerson Village. We don't have not one black-owned business up here anymore, except for one now. A gentleman just opened up a store right here on Woodridge. But other than that, it's nothing. And I'm pretty sure in your community it's the same way. But this is like a 60% black populated city. So why not? Why can't we have this? So we had to come together. So like you said, if you want to go somewhere fast, you go by yourself. If you want to go somewhere far, you work together. And that's why we're here right now. We're working together and trying to bring some light onto these things that, that we need to help out in our city.
Well, Alfie, I really absolutely appreciate you having, and I look forward to things that you have coming up, and I look forward to your support with the things that I'm working on. I'll shoot you the link, and so everybody can vote for me. You can vote once a day you have.
So give us the deadline, give us the link right now for everybody to see, spell it out for us. We'll put it up on the link after the interview, but let everybody know what's going on. And, I appreciate you coming through. Anything that you ever have going on, this is your home. That's why we're here. So, just to tell everybody what you got going on.
All right. So the contest started on the 17th. So right now I'm in second place for this grant. First time I had steep competition. There were like 16 organizations. This time it's only 3, so I have a better chance of winning. Again, as I said, it's collectively. So it's collectively.org. Specific link that will be posted that'll take you directly to opportunity to vote for me directly. As I said, you can vote once a day, whatever email addresses you have. So I appreciate any are able to give. If you are someone who is well-governance and you would like to be a part of Vision into Fruition, please come see me on at Engaged Baltimore. That's at Instagram and Facebook. The website is in the works. And again, I appreciate you. And I wish you all continued success.
No problem. We appreciate you coming through. It was our honor to have you here. Like I say, anytime you want to come back, anything you have going on, this is your place, Streets Talk Podcast. Appreciate you, everything. Have a good evening. Holler at you next time. It's Kizzy Smith. Y'all hear it here. Engage Baltimore.
All right,
coming through. Holler.
All right. Peace, y'all.
Streets Talk Podcast. We out of here. Peace.